Hi guys, my name is James. I remember reading somewhere in South America they found like a well with bodies of all these young women down the bottom of this well. I forget whether they'd been strangled or whatever. It was in South America, in the Aztecs and the Toltecs and the Mixtecs and the various indigenous nations that lived there before the Spanish conquistadors came. And anyway, these girls, they believe, had been sacrificed. And the narrator made the comment that, it was just another example of man's long history of sacrificing to his gods. And I believe that to be the case. I believe the belief in the necessity of sacrifice has been a part of all sorts of beliefs in all sorts of cultures throughout history. There's been human sacrifice and animal sacrifice and various other offerings of gold and silver, and the ancient Celts used to throw all their gold and silver into waterways, because it was believed that this would get the attention of their gods and bring them favor. So man has for a long, long, long time been sacrificing to various gods in an attempt to win their favor. But Jesus is the only example, to my knowledge, I emphasize that, to my knowledge, Jesus is the only example that I know of where, instead of the usual story of man sacrificing to God to try and get God's favor, God saw man as worthy of the sacrifice of his only son. In other words, Jesus is the only time that I know of where God has seen fit to sacrifice for man, to make a sacrifice for man, rather than the other way around. Oh, how wonderful and special must be Yahweh's love for us, that he would sacrifice his only begotten son for us. The first and only time that I know of that ever anyone's God has sacrificed for them, rather than the other way around. Something to think about, guys. We are special. Thank you, Jesus. Talk to you soon.